Intel's really pushing this manufacturing endeavor and it has a lot of investors excited. Unfortunately, I do want to say we did get some red flags from TSMC and ASML in their most recent earnings, and this is something that Intel investors should consider. We'll take a closer look in today's episode. So first, let's just take a closer look at Intel's stock price. Right now, sitting at $33.63, market cap of $140 billion. Year to date, the stock has done really well. It's up 25.8%. Obviously, it's not doing like Nvidia or AMD, but it definitely has some bullish trends compared to its all-time lows. So, like I mentioned, right, Intel is really pushing this endeavor to become a huge manufacturing player, especially in the advanced front. We can see that in September of 2021, the company did break ground on two new leading edge chip factories in Arizona. And this is going to be a multi-billion dollar investment. For those that are not familiar, these two fabs are going to be Fab 52 and Fab 62, and they are expected to be fully operational in 2024. And they will be the new fabs to manufacture Intel's most advanced process technology, including Intel's 20A. So for those that are not familiar, like I mentioned, Intel's really pushing into this manufacturing game. And one of the things that they're trying to do is do 5 nodes in 4 years. At the end of that, we can see would be 18A, but before that would be the 20A. This would be very similar to TSMC's and Samsung's 2 nanometer node. So we can see that Intel's really trying to push this advanced manufacturing, and they do believe that they will be they will have leadership on Intel 18A or 1.8 nanometer or 18 Armstrong, as it is called. So we can see that this company is definitely pushing this endeavor in the manufacturing business. Unfortunately, I do believe we might expect to see some delays. And delays is not something that many investors, especially if you're a long-term investor of Intel, you want to hear. Because Intel is definitely, it's known for a company that has numerous delays. I mean, we saw their Sapphire Rapid, their server CPU hit numerous delays. A lot of their consumer CPUs also hit numerous delays. And one thing that Pat, the current CEO, mentioned when he took office is like, hey, one of the things that I don't want to be is I don't want to be the delay guy or the one that's late on their products. And unfortunately, if we take a closer look at ASML, ASML is a company that provides manufacturing equipment for the semiconductor industry, especially for advanced semiconductor with their lithography machine. They do mention that in their EUV business, which is that special machine, they have seen some shift in demand timing. The majority of the shifts are due to fab readiness. So the fabrication plants that are being built are currently seeing some delays. And I'll explain a little bit more of what TSMC had to say. But before we go any further, if you are enjoying the episode, make sure to hit the thumbs up as it does help me grow my overall channel. I'm trying to hit 30,000 subs by the end of the year. So if you can hit the subscribe button, make sure to do that as well. Next, if you want to learn more about the semiconductor market, I do weekly videos, exclusive videos on my membership program. Just make sure to hit join. And finally,
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So we see from ASML, right, that there are some delays in EUV equipment due to fab readiness. Like I mentioned, TSMC is also another big player here in the manufacturing, and they are also building a plant in Arizona. So they do mention that in Arizona, they are building a first fab to provide U.S. most advanced semiconductor technology in mass production to support the needs for the United States. Obviously, we are seeing kind of all these incentives from the United States governments to build plants here in the United States. Intel's obviously going to get a nice amount of money. TSMC also wants some of that money. And they did start construction in April 2021. Very similar time lapse to Intel, right? They do mention that they are now entering a critical phase of handling and installing the most advanced and dedicated equipment. That dedicated equipment could be that equipment from ASML. However, they are encountering certain challenges as there is an insufficient amount of skilled workers with those specialized expertise required for equipment installation in a semiconductor grade facility. So it does seem like building a semiconductor advanced manufacturing plant is not easy work, and it's such a niche market that they're seeing a lack of skilled workers, which is pushing a delay. TSMC's plant in Arizona was actually expected to start production in 2024. Again, very similar to Intel. Unfortunately, they are pushing back till 2025. So I wouldn't be surprised if Intel, during their most upcoming earnings, which is expected to be this upcoming Thursday after the market closes, also announces a delay in their manufacturing plant. And I do want to say a delay for manufacturing building might be worse for Intel than it is for TSMC, and a few reasons. First, I want to say TSMC, they have manufacturing businesses all around the world, right? They are already in this forefront. They are already a leader. So if they have a delay in their Arizona plant, big deal, right? They can continue to kind of have other plants in other markets like the ones in their Taiwan region. Unfortunately for Intel, they don't have that luxury, right? They don't have the luxury of having multiple advanced plants. So for them, they really need to be on schedule for this Arizona plant, and hopefully there is not a delay. But what we're seeing right now is there is a high probability that that will be the case. The second thing that I do want to say is, like I mentioned earlier, Intel is known as the company of delays, right? They delay numerous of their products. So some investors might see this as, hey, this is Intel returning back to their old ways of becoming a delayed company. Again, it might not seem like a big deal, but obviously big-time investors might be like, hey, look, this company hasn't really shifted. Maybe we have to take our investments elsewhere. So that can definitely be seen as a bearish case. Like I mentioned, the company is reporting earnings later this week. So if you want to make sure you know more about Intel or want to see a closer overview on their earnings report, I'm not an Intel shareholder, but I do listen to their earnings due to they share a lot of insight into data center and the consumer market, which is great for AMD and NVIDIA. So I'll definitely be making a video here. So take care, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the video and catch you all later.